The Callisto Protocol, one of the more anticipated games of the year, has finally came out, and there are problems. Now, before we go into this, I just want to let you know that this is not a full-fledged review. The review is coming, and if you want to see that, please stick around, subscribe to the channel, and like the video. But no, today we're actually going to talk about something different, okay? What we're going to talk about is a few problems. One of them, which I experienced, which is absolutely game-breaking for me. Now, this isn't necessarily a bug, it's not a glitch, it's not something that crashes my system, it's not anything along those lines. This is purely something that every time it happens, and it happens quite a lot, it takes me out of the game. It completely ruins the immersion that the atmosphere and the music is trying to create, and it just makes me think, what the fuck is going on? Now, as I said, this is not a review. I want to play the game both on the PC and the PlayStation 5 before I actually make a full review, just because there is fundamental differences in performance on the two platforms. I have completed the game on the PC, and yes, you will hear my opinion on that in the review. Right now I'm playing on the PlayStation 5. I'm about 10 hours in, and there is something that's happening in the PlayStation 5 version which I did not notice, or at least didn't notice that much on the PC version. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the fire. In Callisto Protocol on the PlayStation 5, I am running performance mode, which means it is 60 FPS, I believe on 1440p, but I may be wrong. That could be just 1080p, depending. Quality mode, of course, is 4K with 30 FPS. I still play on 1080p, and as long as the frames are good, I'm happy, right? So, I'm on performance mode, and everything is rather smooth for the most part, except a few pips and blobs here and there. And then I find myself in a room where there's a fire. Now, if you haven't played the game, let me just inform you that in this game there's a fuck ton of fire. The environment is pretty much wrecked, and there are flames everywhere. Okay, so it's hard to miss. Here I am minding my own business, doing all these kind of horror game stuff, collecting, managing inventory, kind of shooting a few enemies, you know, tearing the limbs off of other mutants, you know, as you do. And then I'm starting to get into it, you know, the music and the tension and the strobe lights, and all that creates an amazing little dynamic of fear, action, and adventure into this dark, mysterious station on the moon of Callisto in Black Iron Prison. So, as I'm getting pulled into this whole world and exploring and finding these voice recordings that tell more about the stories, all of a sudden I enter a room where there's an open fire, and immediately I find myself back in my room staring at my TV. All the immersion is gone, and I'm thinking to myself, who the fuck coded the fire and the flames? Now, as far as I'm concerned, when you set your system on performance mode and you play the game in 60 FPS, and for the most part it is 60 FPS, okay? And it doesn't really matter what you do in terms of the settings, the flames will always be rendered in 30 FPS. Why? Because it's not actually to do with the performance of your system. Someone at Striking Distance Studios development team thought it was a good idea to have a game option to play the whole game in 60 FPS and to render all the flames in 30 FPS. So now it doesn't matter at all what kind of system you have. You can have the system that God created the Earth with, okay? You can literally have a system that can simulate a black hole, okay? It doesn't matter. That flame will always be fucking 30 FPS because it was rendered in 30 FPS in a game that is supposed to run 60 FPS. Now, if any of you understand what the hell is going on, please let me know, because I am no game developer, but as far as I'm concerned, in my many years of gaming experience, I've never seen anything like this. If this was a bug, if this was something to do with, you know, corrupted code, corrupted game files, if this is something that they could patch on, okay, well, it's still not acceptable, is it? Because at the end of the day, it's a £70 video game, and it's been a few days since launch now. But the problem is, this isn't actually a bug as far as I'm concerned. This is not a glitch, this is not a code error. This was done purposely. For what reason, I have no idea. Anyway, the full review is coming soon. But in the meantime, I thought this was important to share because I have no clue who the fuck thought it was a good idea to do this. I've never ever saw anything like this, except from maybe cutscenes where the game goes from 60 FPS to 30 FPS because of the cutscenes. Maybe that I've seen before. But to have an in-game event that is rendered constantly live while you're playing the game, and for it to be capped at 30 FPS even though everything else within the same game, within the same frame, within the same shot is 60 FPS, I don't understand. And please, if you have any theories as to what fucking purpose this serves, leave it in the comments. I would love to read it. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around for the review, which will be coming very, very soon, and I'll see you in the next one.